And here we go. Welcome to Hello Chaos. We are the weekly podcast exploring the messy and chaotic minds and lives of founders, entrepreneurs, and innovators. Every week, we talk to entrepreneurs from different industries, different company stages of all shapes and sizes. We hear real, raw, and unbiased founder stories and talk about the good, the great, the bad, the ugly, all those crazy parts of being a founder. It's why our mantra is where aha meets oh shit. We drop new episodes every Sunday so founders can listen in on a Sunday afternoon to get ready for the week ahead. Hello Chaos is one of the many resources brought to you by Orange Whip. That's Orange Whip, WIP for work in progress. Orange Whip is a multimedia company dedicated to serving founders and entrepreneurs in affiliate cities through hyper-local media platforms designed to inform, inspire, and create connections to help founders succeed. Orange Whip is an all in one content hub with fresh and engaging stories, curated calendars, and local dynamic roadmaps to navigate the local entrepreneurial ecosystems. We've pretty much done all the hard work for founders, so they only need to go to one trusted source to find the local information they need in their local market. My name is Jennifer Sutton. My friends and family do call me JJ. I'm the founder of Orange Whip and will be your host today. And we have Nicole Johnson. She is the co founder of Boyd Cycling. Welcome, Nicole. Welcome to Hello Chaos.
Hey, JJ. Thank you so much. I'm very excited to be here with you today.
Here, and I hope my audio is okay. My mic went out right when the little music was going. I'm like, oh no.
Technical difficulties, yeah.
Right. Well, I'm so excited to have you on and to catch up with you. And I've always loved our conversation, so I'm excited to have you on.
Yeah.
So why don't you just start us out? Just tell everybody, our listeners, your entrepreneurial journey.
Oh, wow. How much time do we have?
I know. Talk about the startup of Boyd.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good. So basically, my husband and I were both professional cyclists. That's how we met. And we started Boyd Cycling back in 2009, which so we're celebrating 15 years in business, which it surprises me to say that just because that's a chunk of time, right?
It is. So, I was like, Bright, we just celebrated Bright's 10-year. Yeah. Bright Marketing, our sister company.
Yeah.
And that's like, I didn't want to celebrate. And I'm like, we need to celebrate the win.
You need to celebrate.
We need to celebrate.
That's definitely my advice to a lot of entrepreneurs is pause and celebrate because the time just flies and it just seems to get faster.
Yeah. So, 15 years.
Yeah, it's nuts. So it's been an amazing journey. We've had so many wonderful people help us and mentor us and be a part of, our success. I definitely think that you can't do it on your own. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we are a full omni-channel bicycle wheel manufacturer now. We are producing our products. 50% of our business is now produced right here in Greenville. And so we started it out of our home online because going to the bike shop when we first started was not an option. A lot of bike shops were carrying a lot of brands that have been around for a lot longer. So yeah, direct to consumer was how we started, and we've just figured out over time how to sell through all the channels and play nice with everyone. And so now we're an international brand, and continuing to grow every year. So we're very, very excited.
Is it full bicycles or is it bicycle parts?
It's just bicycle wheels.
Oh, so just bicycle wheels. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we started, we were making frames, so bicycle frames, handlebars, bottle cages, and wheels. And we learned very quickly that if you focus, things definitely go much smoother. And then we also, we bootstrapped this organization really for a very long time, and it's still pretty much bootstrapping it.
Yeah.
But we realized that cash is king, and if you have a lot of products that have a lot of specifications to them with sizes and colors, it makes it much more difficult to turn the inventory fast. And so Boyd has always been a huge advocate for wheels. And so we just made the decision to focus, and that was the best thing we could have done, because when we did that, we doubled in size within the next year.
Just by focusing, going, you know what, we're not going to try to be the all one size fits all. We're going to just do this and do
Focus.
this well.
Yes. Yeah. Be an expert. And we recommend that.
So what do you think is the biggest misperception? And you work with your husband, right? I mean, you guys are co-founders,
Yes. Yep.
partners.
Yeah.
I want to touch on that a little bit.
Okay.
So how has that been a part of the journey?
Yeah. Yeah. So, a lot of people say, how in the heck do you work with your husband every day? Like, if I did that, I would kill mine. And I just say we don't confuse our marriage with our business relationship.
Okay.
If people saw us in the office, they wouldn't know that we were married because we are, just straight up business partners. Boyd and I have very different skill sets. So he is the visionary behind the brand. He's the engineer behind the brand. I say he's the brain behind it, and then I'm the voice. So I basically tell everybody about it, about my friend. And so that's worked really well. And then obviously now, the size that we are, we have several people who we've delegated some of our duties to. When we started, we were doing everything, which I don't recommend that. But as entrepreneurs, we have to figure that out.
You have to wear a lot of hats.
That's right. Yeah. So it's working really well. And we've been married. For, oh my gosh, how many years? Over 15. So more than the business is old.
So what do you think is the biggest misconception or misperception that people have about being an entrepreneur or a founder? And how would you debunk that?
So I think some people think entrepreneurs don't work, like they have just free reign, right? Like, sometimes I go ride my bike at 2:00 in the afternoon because that's the only window I have for myself. And it looks like I might be just, playing around all day. But yeah, I think a lot of people think entrepreneurs might have it easy because they don't have someone telling them what to do. But, I think that, as a successful entrepreneur, you have to be very driven. You have to be focused. You have to be self-motivated. You have to be willing to do the hard days and not quit. There are days where I have a little saying that say, how many times did I get kicked in the face today?
Yeah.
And if it's only once, I'm doing good.
You're like, this is a win day. I've had those years.
Yeah. So I think, obviously being an entrepreneur, you have to have grit. You've got to have persistence. You've got to have the will to strive every day. And I do think that sometimes, there's a misconception that maybe we have it easy because we're not being told what to do. We don't have a boss.
Right. What resources have you used, or that you're like, hey, I've tried this, but this is, as we've grown, this is really what keeps me going?
So we've been really fortunate where our community here in Greenville has been very supportive of us. We've utilized or been involved very much with Next, the Innovation Group, and VMS mentors. We've had the
What's
same
VMS?
mentors.
VMS, I don't think I've heard of them. What do they do?
Yeah, so that's a program that was created by MIT.
Okay.
And several years ago, it's probably 10 years ago now, they partnered with Next, with John Moore and Brenda Loxo.
Gotcha.
And now, the people, Eric Weissman and the people who are involved with Next have continued on with it. And it's a fabulous program. But basically, it's a structured solution where you have mentees and mentors.
Okay.
We had to pitch our business model to a group of mentors, and then we had 3 to 4 people picked us because of their experience and background, and then we have like one-on-one sessions with them monthly, quarterly, often.
And still to this day?
Still to this day.
Whoa.
Yeah, we've graduated the program, but our mentors have become our board of directors, which has been wonderful.
That is a little secret. Secret sauce that people need to realize. So for those that aren't in Greenville, so Next Innovation Center is kind of like our tech / entrepreneur center here that's supported by our city, as well as the chamber. It's kind of a co-partnership there. And then they have a mentorship program that, you're right, that's like, most cities have something like a Next, or they have some, whether it comes from the city or it comes from like the university.
Yes.
But yeah, that's a great piece of advice of get involved in a mentorship, but also, just those connections, get a board of advisors and have that
people who have
sounding board.
Yes. Yeah, people who
Yes.
have experienced what, a lot of this is not new, right? It's all widgets. So,
Right.
find people that have done it, who have lived it, have the war scars, as I say, that can really help you kind of avoid some of those landmines or pitfalls that we refer to.
Yeah.
We've tapped into the Department of Commerce and commercial services. Those programs have been very effective. We've also worked with USC and the Darla School of Business. They did a
Okay.
whole market analysis for us a number of years ago that was critical to our success.
Hmm.
And also, I work quite heavily with the SBDC. If you're not familiar with that, it's a
And
small business development
and
organization.
they're in every community. That's part of
That's
the
right.
SBA, the Small Business
That's right.
Administration, part
Yeah,
of our federal government. And then
correct.
they have these local centers all over the country. So
Yeah,
it's a free resource. I mean,
yeah,
at your disposal. And
yeah,
don't be afraid. I was like, Nicole, it took me about 5, 6 years before I even felt comfortable because I didn't feel like I belonged, like could walk through those doors. I wasn't sure how
yeah.
to. And somebody was like, "Go, that's a free resource." And when I walked through there, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, what was I waiting for?" Like,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
think that's a lot of entrepreneurs, especially in the female and minority community,
Mhm.
we're just either unaware. Or sometimes it's that self confidence just to knock on the
Yes.
door, make a
Ask the
phone call,
questions.
ask. You are not gonna. There are no stupid questions.
Nope. And I can
Um,
tell you, I've asked a bunch of them, and
yeah.
never did anyone ever make me feel that it was a stupid question. So,
That's right. Um, so besides the time to focus, we're just going to do wheels. What's a breakthrough moment or a decision that truly, besides had a significant impact on the growth of your business? Like that's the aha.
yeah.
Was there any others other than let's focus on just this one product category?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, focus is key. The other thing that I think a lot of founders face early on is capital.
Hmm.
And for us, gosh, we saved. I'll just share with you. We saved $10,000 of our own personal money to start our company, which seemed like a ton of money to us at the time
Right.
because we were young. And no one really shared with me that the bank wouldn't loan us money if we didn't have a W-2. And
Right.
so that was a real wake up call for me when I went to the bank and they're like, "Oh, you don't have 2-year tax returns? No, we can't help you.
No.
We don't know that you can pay us back." So, I do feel that capital is definitely something that
Hmm.
can be an aha moment for a lot of founders. And I've talked with a lot of founders just here in Greenville, and the first thing that a lot of founders will do is they think they have to give a portion of their company away and
Hmm.
do a raise. And I really push people hard to think about other ways to get funds to grow their business besides doing equity right out of the gates. There
Right.
is a time and a place for equity and investors and doing those types of transactions, but a lot of times it's not the first moment as you start your company.
Right.
It's really about connecting with people who can guide you and direct you. And the banks do want to work with us, and that's where SBA comes in again. They have
Yeah.
wonderful programs to help with startups and all walks of life of
Yeah.
people starting businesses.
Absolutely. So if you could hit rewind on anything, is there anything you do differently?
Oh my gosh. Probably. It's like I joke, it's like, oh, I have short-term memory problems, so that's why I keep doing this every single
You're
day.
like PTSD trauma. Like we don't go there.
We used to say that about riding bikes too. It's like it's so painful, but we forget from day to day how much pain we have and we just show back up. It's the same with entrepreneurship.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no, honestly, JJ, I don't think I would change anything. I mean, it's like it's just a dream that I've ended up where I've ended up in my career. Like
Mm.
I never knew that my path was going to take this route. I was corporate America. I was like high tech out of college. I was all about like how much money can I make and
Right.
working 80 hours a week. Like I just never thought that I would be sitting in this place that I am today. So I just feel grateful. And yeah, I don't think I'd
And you
change
built
anything.
something. I mean, you guys
Yeah.
built a product and like you guys have a manufacturing facility. I mean,
It's
it,
fun.
it's
Yeah.
a big deal. What do you think has surprised you the most? And how did you handle it? Like, what did you do?
Yeah, so I think my biggest surprise was when we came out of the gates with our product, how so many people weren't interested in us. It was like,
You're like, we're bikers. We know this is what we
hey,
would want.
and
Why don't you want it?
yeah, and it wasn't that people didn't want our product, but it was definitely harder than I
Hmm.
anticipated. And so I think when you're young and you're excited about something, you just think everyone will be excited. And so I was definitely surprised about how hard I had to work. And I think just for entrepreneurs, that's a good
Yeah.
thing to talk about is like you better be ready to work your butt off.
Right. Like this
And
is this is not a I was joking around with another founder. We were talking around, we were like, the 4-day work week book is bullshit. As a like that doesn't belong
yeah,
in our sphere. Like
right.
like, that does, that's not it. Like
No, no, they're just trying to get you to give them your email.
that's right.
No, but if they figure it out, I mean, kudos to them. But
That's
I'm
right.
I'm not there.
I haven't met a founder. We do, and we've talked to several thousand founders over the last couple of years.
That's
We
awesome.
haven't found one yet. That,
Okay, that
that,
makes me feel
that
better.
nobody's there yet. So,
Yeah.
what advice? Because you guys have been scaling up, like you
Yeah.
guys have been growing and scaling, and
Yes.
having to buy assets. It's not like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's both team, but also it's production,
Machines.
materials,
Yeah.
machines.
Things that go on the floor. Yeah.
Right. So as you've been scaling up, what advice?
Yeah.
How would you guide somebody, those lessons learned of, man, we didn't think about this.
Yeah.
We should have. Is there any advice you can give?
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest things really, JJ, is, being really in tune with your market, right? And
Mm,
what's happening around you. Like, it shocks me when I hear people say, oh, why are groceries more expensive or why is gas so much more? And, it's like we've had to be so in tune with the global aspect of our business
uh,
because of how it's been structured and the fact that we've manufactured things halfway around the world most of the time. And so, I just say that, like, it's very important to pause
mm.
and to think clearly about where you're headed way before you make the decision
Spend
to
money.
get there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And really, it's like, I think being very calculated is critical. You cannot fly, obviously a lot of entrepreneurs, we fly
Mm,
by the seat of our pants and we are risk takers. But for us, everything that we've done has been very calculated.
mm.
You know, Boyd is very good at seeing the future as much as we can. And I think, just being very, very involved in your industry, like you have to be able to see things vertically, horizontally, from top to bottom, left to right. You've always just got to be paying attention to everything that's happening around
Right.
you. The competitive landscape, all those things. I think you really just have to be in tune with to make decisions effectively.
So really, either it's validating your assumptions or having your assumptions, you know,
Yeah.
like, hey, this is what we thought. Nope. So you've got to always be kind of testing the market and talking to the market, just being, like you said, in tune.
Yeah, and you have to be
Um,
okay with walking away from something. Like we have
mm,
something on in front of us right now that is like we feel very critical to the next steps of the future, the legacy of Boyd. And it's really tough not to get emotional about it because
yeah.
it's another investment on our part. And
Right.
so you have to put your heart on the shelf and just look at it as like, okay, is this gonna push us forward or is it gonna cause, tougher times or
Mm,
tougher decisions for us?
right.
And so, yeah, I think you just have to put your emotions aside and be
Mm,
really calculated with what makes sense and what you can handle.
yeah.
Because at the end of the day, there's only so many hours
That's right.
and you've got to stay in balance, right?
Time, money, and resources. And
Yeah.
that includes your mental energy. I mean,
Your health.
that's your health.
That's
Yeah.
my biggest advice is don't ever let your health go by the wayside because at the
Uh,
end of the day, it's not worth it. So,
yeah, I agree.
yeah.
So, okay. So here's some fun questions for you.
Okay.
So
Was that the hard part we got
here's
through?
what we got. It's the hard. I got one like tough question. Well, at least I think it's a fun question, but everyone, I was like, oh, that's a hard one. Uh, but okay. So, what would listeners be surprised to learn about you? That's like not on your resume or anything like that. What would be something that would be fun to learn?
So when I was, let's see, no one knows this, so this will be fun. When I was 19, I thought I wanted to be like a representative. I was living in Portland, Maine at the time, and I thought I wanted to be like a model or be like representative Maine. And so I signed up for the Miss Maine contest pageant, and I am not
Miss
pageant
Main Queen.
material. But I was like, I'm going
Did
to
you?
do it as, a spokesperson. I had the
Yeah.
wrong understanding of what all that meant. So I got obliterated. It was a
Oh.
very, talk about
But you did it. But see, that's a statement of courage. You were just like, you know what? I'm doing it. I'm going to go out there. I'm putting myself out there.
It was an experience and one that I learned from that I don't want to do that.
You're like, nope.
Nope.
We'll move on.
Yeah.
So what daily routines, you said, you talked about mental health is so important. What routines do you have or disciplines that you've incorporated to make sure that you are staying focused and energized and motivating and what are things have you infused in your team?
Yeah, so for me personally, riding my bike is just so important to me, and I haven't been doing it as much lately, but I try to ride at least 2 times a week, and then I have like a little routine of weightlifting, and then I try to eat very healthy and sleep enough. All those things are factors. This
Yeah.
past about a year and a half ago, I actually picked up playing the piano again. I
Oh,
played as a
nice.
kid and I took lessons and I hated it. But I actually found a studio here to help me learn how to play by ear because that's how I played as a kid.
Yeah.
And so I actually play the piano every morning before work and every night before I go to bed. And music is just,
Therapeutic.
oh my gosh, it's been an amazing thing for me just to get back involved with. And I'm just addicted to it. Like I can't stop. I want to just learn everything. So,
Are
yeah.
Are your kids enjoying? Is it like the opposite effect of, oh my God, mom's on the piano again? Like if your kids learn to drum, that kind of thing, or are they
Right.
like,
Well,
Mom, I want to do this too?
yeah. No. So so my daughter can sing, and my dad was a musician,
Oh,
and she's gotten his gift, I think. And so she actually has started to go behind me and play, which is to me exactly, what I wanted her to do. Like it's just
oh.
really fun. So yeah. So she'll play and have fun, but I'm not going to put her in lessons. It's not necessary.
Yeah, she's got a natural gift.
Yeah.
So okay, here's the toughy one.
Okay.
So if you had to sum up your entrepreneurial journey in just one word, what would that word be?
Entertainment. Yeah. um. Wow. I would say, ooh, that is tough. One word. Yeah, I'm an
Rat,
expressive
rat,
person, so
rattle
one
off a
word is
couple of
tough.
words. Yeah.
Um, I would say just exciting.
Mm.
Yeah, like it's been really
It's been
exciting. I
a
mean,
it's been a ride.
it's been a ride. Yeah,
It's been a thrill
never a
ride.
dull day, never a dull moment. And it's been a lot of fun. Like
Yeah.
we've gotten to the point now, like 15 years in, right, where we're now just. I mean, we've always had fun along the way,
Yeah.
but now we're having like different conversations, right? We're having
Mm.
growth conversations. We're having scaling conversations. We're having conversations of, oh, we actually have the capital where we can hire more people.
Right. Oh, those are exciting
Yeah.
conversations.
Yeah.
So what is the best piece of advice you received as a founder, and how did it influence your own decision making?
Yeah, the biggest thing, and I've said this in other interviews and podcasts, is, don't be afraid to ask questions or
Mm,
ask for help. I do think as entrepreneurs, a lot of times we think that we have to know everything. We have to have this badge on our,
right.
shirt that says I'm an expert. And, for people to trust me, I have to know everything. It's like we're the leader of our companies. People put their lives in our hands, right, when
Mm,
they work with us. And so, we never, a lot of times we're afraid to make a mistake or look stupid. And
yeah.
I just say, throw it out there. Don't be afraid to look stupid. You'll get more respect from your people if you're honest and genuine and you ask for help. So
Mm,
that's
that's
just kind of
great advice.
my
Yeah.
advice.
So, are there, books or podcasts or any other kind of like resources? I know you talked about Next, but more of like things that have had a profound impact on you as like a growth of a leader, um, a manager of people and things.
Yes, the book that I read early on, it's kind of funny, like, I'm so, like, at night, I'm so tired that if I read, I fall asleep immediately.
Same.
So it's been tough, but, like, early on, I read the book by, Jim Collins. It's called Good to Great.
Yes,
I
that's
really think
yeah.
that for entrepreneurs is a great book. Recently, a friend of mine recommended Automatic Wealth, which
Oh,
is a great book for entrepreneurs. It reminds you of, just like how to grow, like how to have, different revenue streams. Like I
mm,
think you've heard the term serial entrepreneur.
yeah.
I think once you've done it once, you think you can do it multiple times. And so that book is a really great book about, just analyzing opportunity and how to act. And it talks about going to bed early and waking up at 5.
I know I see that I follow several like serial entrepreneurs on
Yeah.
Twitter and they're all like, I got up at 5 a.m. and I went to the gym and I did this. I was like, and then I watched the sunrise and then I read for an hour and then I cranked out work and then I was like, oh my God.
I know. I'm the
Like
same. I'm like, if
I'm
I
like,
had
I'm
to wake up,
struggling to get up. I gotta get my kids to school and gotta argue with them. And
I know there's the reality, right? And I do think that, yeah, we need our sleep. That's just like best advice too.
that's
Sleep
right.
when you can.
It's like if I can sleep an hour more, I will take it.
Yes.
Um, So you talked about like networking and yeah, mentorship.
Yes.
Um, do you have tips for other founders and for building meaningful connections?
Yeah, that's a great question because I think as entrepreneurs, time is really the only resource we have, and
Hmm.
especially when you start. So sometimes you feel like, oh my gosh, if I go to this event, I'm going to lose 3 hours of my day. And
Yeah.
for what? Like, is it really going to pay off? And so for me, where I really focused was surrounding myself around people that were more experienced than me. So
Okay.
I kind of targeted, not in a stalker like way. It
Right.
was it was more of like, what where in Greenville especially can I find people that are business owners that
Mm,
have done what I want to do. Early on, Boyd and I were really lucky to get involved with some business leaders with Michelin, because
yeah.
Michelin had a funding program where they would give startups a loan that they felt, confident they would,
Right.
be able to utilize the funds effectively. So we had that happen early on, and so immediately we got plugged into the Michelin network, which was pretty incredible. So they gave us access to like lawyers, accountants, marketing people, and it was amazing. And a lot of these people worked for Michelin, and
Mm,
so once they learned about us, it's like they became like personal friends.
right.
And so that's kind of how it started, and how quickly we realized the impact of
Mm,
being around people that just were, I mean, I don't know, smarter than us, right? had
right.
had more like technical expertise in areas that I had no clue. Like, I had to learn accounting when I started, which,
That's right.
I was like,
Well,
I need to talk to someone who knows what they're doing. So that's how it started. And that's how I suggest that you start. Don't try to go out there and make friends with all these people, because, yeah, you'll get overwhelmed. But if you can say, like, what is an area in my business that I'm struggling with,
mm,
or that I need kind of an expert, and then, reach out to friends or people that maybe you trust that might know people. I mean, that's how
Right.
I started. I just started connecting and with friends and said, "Do you know someone who
Right.
might know about this?" And that's just how it started. So,
That's good. No, that's great advice. So if you could fast forward for a year from now,
uh-huh.
what changes do you want to see happen to your company? Whether it's, new
Yeah.
product expansion, if you can talk like, or grow, like, hey, I would love to have
Yeah.
team double in size. Like, is
Yeah.
there, like your wish list of what change would you like to have in your business?
Yeah, so I'm actually working on it right now. So it's a really timely
Ah,
question. So yeah, we are looking to embrace some new technologies into our
mm,
products. So that's like a huge one. The second one that, like, I'm really focused on is growing more globally.
mm,
So we've done that over the years. We, like I said, we're an international brand, but depending on the political landscape of what's happening with tariffs and customs and you
mm.
know dollar conversions, like the Brexit and the euro and all that stuff,
Well,
we've had to
and quality issues and all, yeah,
Oh yeah, so we've
yeah,
had to expand and then we've had to contract. Like,
mm,
it's just there's just times where you grow your business and then sometimes it's like two steps forward, one step back, and that's
yeah,
okay. But now there's a big push for global expansion for us
mm,
because we're ready. The timing's there. We have the product. We have the network. So that's really what we're focused on. So Europe is a big target for us,
okay.
and then potentially Asia again, because Asia is a consuming demographic. So we're trying to grow really internationally.
And you still do direct to consumers, or has your model
Yeah, so we're
changed?
we're full omni-channel. So
So
basically what that means is we're direct to consumer. So we sell through our website,
right,
e-commerce, and that's global. We sell through distributors. So basically, distributors who represent lots of different manufacturers and products.
so
And
like
then
bike shops
and then
and
we sell through the
big,
bike shop
okay,
as well. And then we sell OEM. So
okay,
OEM is basically our wheels come on bike frames out of the factory.
okay, very good.
Yeah. So
Ah, um, so when we talk to founders, some of the biggest issues since like I call post COVID,
yeah.
of it's talent or workforce development, either
Yeah.
recruitment or retention, and
Yeah.
sometimes both. How are you dealing with that? Has that been even a challenge for you guys as you guys have been growing?
A little bit. What's been interesting, because we are a sport company or cycling company,
Mm,
we tend to attract cyclists. So,
yeah,
people who ride bikes typically have an amazing work ethic. They're very passionate. They're very much into the bike. And so, I think that we've really probably avoided some of the downfalls of the COVID changes because of that. We've had a little bit of trouble with certain roles. Definitely, like I hired someone last year and they were great, but they decided they didn't want to work that much. They didn't want
yeah,
to work a full time schedule. And so, as it was a bummer because this person was very skilled,
right,
I get it. Like, if people, you have one life to live, right? But
right,
one of the things that we do here, JJ, that I think has really resonated with our people is we do give them flexibility with their
mm,
life, right? Like, I'm really big on, my people, I want them to have a good quality of life.
that's right.
So, like, my wheel builders get off at 4 o'clock every day so they can go be with their families or ride their bikes before it
Mm,
gets dark. I've got one guy that has a small child, and so he works from home a couple of mornings so that he can help his wife. So stuff like that is we've been really flexible with people's schedule. At the end of the day, as long as work is getting done and we're productive and we're hitting our numbers and doing what we tell people we're going to do, we've really formed a great team and a
mm.
great quality of life, and I think that's gone a long way with people. So.
Nice. That's good.
Mhm.
Love it. Okay, so is there any other advice or as the lessons learned of you've come up. Are there anything that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I mean, I just really recommend to fellow entrepreneurs and founders that they pick something that they really are passionate about,
Mm.
because, there are driving factors, right, with business. And, there's some, like, I do see some scenarios where they're focused on making money, right? Like,
Yeah.
just, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to be rich. And it's like, being on a diet. It's like, I'm dieting to be skinny. And, like,
Right.
guess what? You're going to fail.
Right.
Because there's going to be days where things go good and days that things go bad.
And you gotta love it.
You gotta
Yeah.
love it. You gotta love it in your deep into your core, into your bones, into your heart. So I think that's my biggest piece of advice: is do something that that your heart's in it,
Mm-hmm.
and that you can actually grow with too, where you can be challenged and you can develop. I think that if you choose something that's limited that way,
Mm-hmm.
you can get bored.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's important to choose something that you love and that you can grow with and be challenged.
No, that's good. That reminds me, we've talked to founders of like, know your, and I think you've touched on it too, of know the end game. Like what is the vision? Why are you in this? What's the why?
Yeah,
And
the
is it,
why.
are you, is it a lifestyle decision, as in, I want to be an entrepreneur because I'm looking for more of a solo gig to be able to
Sure.
have a lifestyle of freedom.
Yeah.
Or is it, what? This is, we want to make money, but we know this, we know the game.
Yeah.
We've got to work hard and we hope that we have an exit, but it is not with the mentality of
Right.
a 4-day work week.
Right. Right.
So kind of know, like what you're saying, kind of know what you're getting into, and you gotta love it.
You gotta
Either
love
way.
it.
Yeah.
It's gonna make you feel good. Like we just started making wheels for people in wheelchairs.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's like I never thought that would be something that we could do. And in my family, my grandfather died of MS, and my father was paralyzed from a work accident. And so it resonates deep with me and my family that if I can help people,
Right.
lighten their wheelchair up, allow them to go more places. It's like, so that's where I say too, if and sometimes you just don't know when you start something,
Right.
what you do is if it's going to help people. You hope it does. But yeah, if you can do something that really helps improve other people's lives, I think that's a great thing that is.
That's right. You can change the world. Right.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh, well, this is great. Well, we're out of time.
Okay, awesome.
And before we leave, how do you want people to connect with you?
Yes. So I have a LinkedIn page. It's
Okay.
Nicole Johnson. I would love for people to connect with me there. Anything I can do to help other fellow entrepreneurs, I'm all in. I've got obviously limited time, but I've been able to do it thus far. Any questions or resources I can provide, shoot me an email or just connect with me on LinkedIn, and be more than happy to help.
And then how do you want people to connect with Boyd Cycling?
Yeah, so we obviously, come to our website, boydcycling.com. We have a contact us. Our emails are all on there, so you can email us directly if you have questions or just want to connect with us. We would love that.
I love it. Thank you so much. I get so amazed how fast these things go. But I enjoyed the conversation. I really good to catch up with you, and thanks for hanging out with me.
Yes.
And for everyone listening and watching, thank you for joining us. And again, this podcast episode will be published on this coming Sunday, available on all podcast platforms. So subscribe to Hello Chaos, comment, like, and share this great content. Help us grow a more connected entrepreneurial community. Orange Whip is again, multimedia company dedicated to serving founders and entrepreneurs in affiliate cities. We are in Greenville, Charleston, and Columbia. And we are 100% free. Just an email to join the community. It's a one-stop content hub. We've done all the hard work for you, and just come and enjoy the content. Check out the new edition that just dropped. We're talking about product development, product design. We've got some great entrepreneurs that we've featured across our cities. and stunning photography. So go and enjoy. Find your city in addition. If you'd like to be a guest on our podcast, please send us an email to hello@orangewhip, and that's orangewip.com. Or if you want to support us and sponsor one of our podcasts, send us an email. Y'all, thank you for tuning in to Hello Chaos, and it's been my pleasure. It's where aha meets oh shit, and I'm your host, Jennifer Sutton, JJ. See you again next week.